everyone, my name's Miranda, and today I'm here to do a special arc review for... Where's the book? Heartless by Marissa Meyer! This book is an Alice in Wonderland prequel about the Queen of Hearts, who we all know is super crazy and super terrorizing and just is always like, off with your head and all that. So the Queen of Hearts in this book is Catherine, who is just a girl who is kind of like somewhat high up in the social standing of Hearts, and really all she wants to do is open a bakery with her best friend slash her maid, Marianne, and she's too scared to ask her parents for permission and the money to open this bakery because she kind of knows they'll say no, that it's beneath her, and it's all she really wants to do though. She really loves baking, and at the start of the book, she attends this ball where she finds out that the king, who is super short and super just kind of immature and childish and just not anything she could ever see herself being with, he wants to ask her to marry him, and she feels like she's put in a position where she can't say no, because how do you say no to a king, even though she does not love him at all? And to further complicate this all, the king also has a new court joker called Jest, who has captured Catherine's eye. So it's a lot of things all wrapped up in this whole origin story about a villain, and that really is what this is. It's an origin story of the Queen of Hearts, and for me, it was so good, but so hard to read, because you're reading it and the happy moments you know are not going to last, because you know how it ends. You know that she becomes the Queen of Hearts, and things that happen, you're like, this wouldn't happen, and then she would be the person that's cutting people's heads off and being all mean. Like, she would be happy. So it was super hard for me to get through. Like, I kept putting it down just because I knew what was coming, and I didn't want to get to that point. It is a fantastic villain origin story, I have to say. I sympathize more with the Queen of Hearts now, in that I see, like, her story is one we've read a million times, but she, unfortunately, is the one that doesn't get a happy ending. But she could be Cinderella or Rapunzel or someone like that, and it's just where they're impossible things, where they happen, hers doesn't, and she doesn't get a happy ending, and because of that, she becomes this terrifying person, because she truly feels like she played the game she was supposed to. She was a nice person, she did everything she was supposed to, and she still lost, so what's the point? And I liked it too, because not only did it give you like a good solid background on her, where it made sense why she was the way she is now, but it also kind of makes you see like why she hates Alice so much, because Alice is kind of in her shoes now. She's this new kid, she has parents and people around her who don't necessarily approve of who she is or what she wants to be, and she comes into Wonderland, and rather than being destroyed by the people and kind of just her very being consumed and twisted into something she doesn't want it to be, she gets her happy ending. So I can see why the Red Queen like hates Alice's guts, because it's kind of like, I didn't get my happy ending, so why should you? I really loved it. Like, the change, the progression throughout Catherine's character, getting closer to the Queen of Hearts, was so fantastic. Like, I was so impressed. It felt good because it wasn't like all of a sudden it was just a switch off. Like, we did see one moment where something happened and she thought that she had lost everything, and she kind of got to that point, and then she got it back because everything was better for the most part again, and you were like, oh no, so she does have this side of her. It's just kind of like she keeps it at bay. And the weird thing is, she's not a bad person at all. Like, originally when you first meet her, it's like she's polite, she's courteous, and she is the most selfless person you will ever meet. Like, the whole reason she doesn't want to say no to the king and feels like she can't is because her parents are expecting her to say yes, and she doesn't want to disappoint them. Like, she never really stands up for herself. Her parents are awful. Like, I had to put the book down at times when her mom was talking to her, because I was like, you guys literally suck. Like, if you were my parents, I would punch you in the face and run away. I am not sorry at all. But she just stood there and took it, and she did all these things to help other people, and you see what a good person she is. But this whole book is about being a good person is not enough if you're not in the right environment for it. Like, just because you're a good person, that doesn't mean you get your happy ending. And like, I'm literally like crying talking about it, because I just finished it, and the ending was so sad. I can't tell you anything. Like, obviously you know it's not gonna be happy, but the ending was just like, I thought it was gonna go like one way that was like, okay, this is kind of sad, and it went like totally tragedy, so horrifically sad, and I was just like crying, bawling my eyes out. Like, it was so well written how all of it happened, and how you see the transformation of Catherine, and it was so hard to read, and not because it was bad, it was a good book, but it was just so hard to read because you you knew it was coming and you didn't want it to. I'm definitely gonna have a more like spoiler talk when the book actually comes out because there's so much to talk about, but all the characters in this were just so amazing. The progression for Catherine to the Red Queen, like I said, just had me bawling my eyes out because like you just wanted her to have a happy ending. She's no different than any of the other YA heroines we've read who actually get their happy ending. Like, they do impossible things, and she thinks she can do this impossible thing, and you know she can't because of her ending. Jess is a really, really interesting and intriguing character. He has a lot more depth than you originally thought. And I think this was a really good villain origin story. Like I said, with Leviana, when Marissa Meyer did her origin story, I didn't really like it because she was an awful person to begin with. Like, her whole family was awful. She was the douchiest of them all. But Catherine is such a selfless and genuinely nice person. And someone even points out at the end, like, you were so, like, there's two Catherines now. You used to be really nice and really sweet. And to see that kind of fall apart is so sad. But I definitely really love this book. I super, super, super recommend it. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. And I just can't wait until it's actually out and I can buy it and read it and sob all over it because I'm borrowing this from my friends, so I can't really get any tears on this book. So yeah, that about does it for this review. I definitely highly encourage you to check it out when it does come out. It's really good. I may like it even more than the whole Lunar Chronicles series just because of how it takes this iconic character and warps her. So I just really, really liked it. And if you are interested in reading Heartless yourself, please make sure to comment down below or leave a like on this video, and also subscribe to my channel down below to be told when I make all sorts of new videos. And I will see you guys next time. Bye!